On the basis of the old adage that admitting a problem is half of the battle, Northampton are 50% ahead of Harlequins in finding a way out of the hole both clubs are in. These are two marquee names in the domestic game, being dragged through the mud. What happened on Saturday, in southwest London and the East Midlands, amounted to the betrayal of proud heritage. A patched-up Saints team utterly capitulated against Saracens at Franklin's Gardens, losing 63-13. It was Northampton's heaviest Premiership defeat, but the devil was in the detail. They were in touch at half-time, before an abject second-half surrender, as the visitors plundered 48 points without reply, to take their aggregate season tally against these fallen rivals to 237. In 4 East matches. At least the Saints' hierarchy are not hiding from the magnitude of the state they are in. The coaching team is being overhauled. Chris Boyd is coming in from the Hurricanes in New Zealand to mount a salvage operation, and Dan Biggar will arrive as a pedigree playmaker. Thus, there are glimmers of hope amid the rubble, even from 10th place in the league table. There is no such optimism about what may lie ahead at Quins. Instead, there appears to be mutiny in the air. The club might have a teen prodigy on their hands, in fly half Marcus Smith, but something is rotten. How a side containing Mike Brown, Chris Robshaw, Danny Kerr and Joe Marler can slump to a 35-5 defeat at home against relegation-stalked London Irish beggars belief. These are men who exude competitive intensity, drive and ambition. However, Quins' England contingent have become openly scathing about their own club, which suggests all is not well behind the scenes. The suspicion must be that Director of Rugby John Kingston has lost the dressing room, as they often say in football about a doomed manager. Kingston and his coaches were recently awarded extended contracts. At the time, Harlequins chief executive David Ellis said the club is on an exciting journey on and off the pitch. Yet, they have lost 6 out of 7 league games in 2018. They are in freefall. Rugby should not adopt football's hiring and firing culture, but unless there is a startling turnaround in the next month, it is hard to imagine Kingston staying in his post, if Quins truly crave success. Northampton know they have a problem and they are doing something about it. Irate Quins fans will be wondering when the penny will drop at their club. Bristol will be back in the Premiership next season, after their promotion from the Championship was confirmed when nearest rivals Ealing lost at Doncaster. Pat Lamb's West Country side will return to the top flight armed with a couple of in their prime All Blacks, in the form of Charles Piutau and Stephen Luatua. If they can survive and consolidate for a year, they have the backing, both financial and among the city's public, to become a formidable force in the domestic game. Cardiff Blues match against the Cheetahs on Saturday mirrored their journey to Bloemfontein. It went on too long and proved to be extremely disappointing. The Welsh region endured a nightmare travel experience. Their flight from Heathrow to Johannesburg with South African Airways last Wednesday was cancelled. They eventually flew out the next day, only to face further delays when trying to connect from Johannesburg to Bloemfontein. When they finally boarded the plane, they were forced off again by radar issues. Eventually, the Blues arrived 55 hours after setting off, only to find out that their luggage had been mislaid. Despite the shambolic build-up, Danny Wilson's side were on course to beat the Cheetahs in their Pro 14 fixture, only to lose courtesy of a dubious penalty try at a scrum in the 8th minute of injury time. See Pennell, Worcester, Jane Ole, Exeter, A. Lazowski, Saracens, H. Slade, Exeter, M. Yard, Sale, A. J. McGindy, Sale, P. Van Zale, London Irish, E. Genge, Leicester, S. Brits, Saracens, D. Cole, Leicester, M. Atoye, Saracens, B. Evans, Sale, D. Dunton, Worcester, S. Calamafoni, Leicester, D. Armand, Exeter. Weekend highlights try of the week: 2 glorious contenders from the Pro 14 clash between Southern Kings and Munster and George, South Africa. The visitors produced an offloading classic, rounded off by Dan Goggin, but it was fractionally overshadowed by the Kings' length of the field consolation try, rounded off by Michael Max. Pace, superb support play, vision and handling brilliance. Commentary quip of the week: BT Sports' Nick Mullins as Leicester were launching a sustained scrum onslaught against Bath. This is Sean Knight's first Premiership start of the season. He probably wouldn't have chosen Ellis Genge as his dancing partner. Tackle of the week: Bath prop Beno Obano somehow stopped Leicester lock Graham Kitchener, at full tilt, just a metre from his own line. It was an epic act of defiance. Sidestep of the week: Leicester number 8 Sion Calamafoni left Bath rival Dulup Fulatau flailing at fresh air, just days after telling Sportsmill, "He is world class. I can't compare myself to him." Not only has Australia fullback Israel Folau managed to infuriate his employers, sponsors and many of his compatriots, the outspoken evangelical Christian has also left himself offside with one of the world's leading referees. Last week, Folau was asked on social media about God's plan for gay people and he replied, "Hell. Unless they repent of their sins and turn to God." He is due to meet officials from Rugby Australia and the Waratahs tomorrow to discuss the situation, but he has been condemned for his outburst by Nigel Owens, the homosexual Welsh referee. "People should keep their opinions that can be very harmful to themselves," he told Wales Online. He needs to respect that people are different to him and to his beliefs. Sale's dramatic victory over title-chasing Wasps in Salford on Friday kept alive their faint hopes of qualifying for the Premiership playoffs, and also showcased the test claims of several Sharks players. Recent evidence suggests that Eddie Jones should consider stalwart prop Ross Harrison and England-qualified back rower John O'Ross, who has been a stellar signing from Stade Francais, as well as the Curry twins, Ben and Tom. Marland Yard is rediscovering his mojo after, in hindsight, leaving Quins at just the right time, and it is mystifying that Mike Haley is having to move to Ireland in search of a test opportunity there, given his consistent class at fullback. Wayne Pivac has won the battle and he may go on to win the war as well. His Scarlet side beat Dave Rennie's Glasgow and Llanelli on Saturday, and afterwards, Rennie revealed that he has had no contact with the Welsh Rugby Union about the possibility of succeeding Warren Gutland as national coach. Pivac has had informal talks with the WRU, so, despite much support for Rennie's claims, Pivac may now be in pole position. Quite right too. He is the standout candidate, now that Dai Young has made it clear that he does not want the job, at this stage anyway. Pivac and Stephen Jones have guided the Scarlets to a league title and a European Champions Cup semi-final. They would be an ideal double act to galvanise Wales after the World Cup. Last word: World Rugby's quest to resolve the World Cup qualifying debacle involving Spain and Romania has been undermined by the reopening of an old can of worms in relation to test eligibility. The global governing body revealed last week that they were poised to order a replay of the Belgium-Spain game, overseen by Romanian officials, which the visitors lost in controversial fashion, allowing Romania to claim a place in next year's showpiece in Japan instead of them. However, they are now having to investigate allegations that Romania and Spain fielded ineligible players in the recent Rugby Europe Championship. National allegiance is locked in once a player has represented a country's senior test team, but also a secondary capture team, which can be an A side or even an under-20s side. The onus is now on a player, however young, to find out if they are being captured or not, but it also depends on whether the opposition is a capture team for their country. Enough of this migraine-inducing, career-defining complexity. A simple, universal approach is needed. Senior national teams should be the capture level, nothing below that.